The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming. Damn it. The first delay was bad, the second just didn't quit.
Yeah.
Just kind of, it's like falling down the stairs. Welcome to the show. The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Big news. Big kid news.
Wow. Okay. Fortnite Pro.
He did it. He's on the team. The kid number 1, my first child,
Yep.
is potty trained.
Oh, this
He
deserves
is-
a cheer. We need a sound effect.
The lightning bolt, we need like fireworks. There is literally half the amount of feces that I have to touch on a daily basis. It is notable.
You
It
feel
is-
free? It's freedom.
We just like walk out the house. Man, do
Yeah.
you know what that's like? You know what it's like.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know. Potty training is a huge milestone.
And hey, Lou, I'll get past in a second, but just really quickly, I have to address it. I've said this before. I'll say it again probably before.
Okay.
If a parent ever looks at you and says it never gets easier, punch them in the mouth. That is a damn lie. It gets so much easier. I don't clean up poop, man. I can leave the house without 1,000 diapers and 60 wipes and 8 pairs of clothes.
And I can see that. Staking out bathrooms and stuff.
Oh, it's so much better. And he tells me all the time. And we'd been working on it. We'd had some successes. But I'm talking like 1 out of every 10.
Yeah,
type
and
of
that's the rough part too, right? Because you might have more accidents at that time if they're, late calls.
Yeah, and he just and the problem is he knew.
Oh, okay.
He knew what he was doing, right? And it just so when it happened, it's just especially upsetting. It's like, come on, man! Like you know better. You know exactly what you were just doing.
Yep.
This is nonsense. But some combination of positive reinforcement. So for him, loves sugar, so it was candies whenever he succeeded.
Hey, whatever works.
Wanted to get that candy. It seemed like the school he switched into, I think he was the only one that wasn't potty trained.
Okay.
And I think it started to weigh on him a little bit. Plus, I think
The shaming. The shaming's good.
Not.
I'm just kidding.
I don't call it shaming. I think it's notable. And then with the other parent, like the other, what do you call it? The teachers would have a bit more motivation to stop him from doing it because it's like, we don't care to have this one straggler. We have to deal with the situation.
Right.
So,
okay.
But I can't describe to you how much better life is right now.
It's a lot of weight off your shoulders, that's for sure. And clean hands.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was surprised because I expected, just to call it out, I expected the pee to take a lot longer. Mm-hmm. It just seems something that would going number 2 just felt like it's a bit more momentous and like you can notice it. And that's the big event. So like,
right. You
the
feel
other one's
that
going to take a while. But no, man, like it came as like a 2-for-1 deal. Like he just altogether completely done. So he goes off I expect over the course of the next like 6 months we'll probably have an accident here or there, perhaps.
It's gonna happen. Yep.
But we go out to the park and he's potty trained. I don't worry about it.
Now I will, because I'm thinking back when when my kids are out of diapers. Doesn't it look like they're so much more flexible now? Like they can actually like climb up things without being impeded by this huge pillow in their butt. Just
he looks like he's lost so much weight. Have you been on a diet, little guy? You look great.
Pants don't fit anymore. What are you doing?
Yeah, pants fit better.
Yeah.
Like it's easier to change. Like, oh man, life gets better. Damn.
Yeah. Well, he's probably feeling a lot better, right? You got the independence again. He can move, run faster, got all that weight off.
Oh, and he doesn't. He'll have us leave the bathroom. He's like, "You leave now."
Oh,
it's like, man, with pleasure, with absolute pleasure.
Privacy.
Oh, so it's just I don't know, man. It's just the thought of being in public and they don't pee or poo, like it just
Yeah.
feels it's so good. Life is so good. I am so happy.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because I will take this golden opportunity to mention my story where my kids are potty trained,
Okay.
and the 5-year-old decided to undo that work at school.
Golden opportunity. No. How dare
And-
you? Dad pun.
Yep. And so at recess, he took it upon himself to go outside in the sandbox, dig a hole, and then pee in it. Like he's marking his territory.
Okay, like through his pants, or was it like a?
Well, this is where you try to pry out information from a 5-year-old and get the story straight, because obviously we're not there at school and the teacher didn't really see it happen. And it was a supply teacher, actually, so she didn't really see it happen.
even better. It's like, I
She's
hate my
feeding
job.
it through. Exactly. This is like a telephone conversation where now the teacher's contacting us. She wasn't at school, so she's getting the info secondhand, and then I'm getting information from the 5-year-old who, maybe a dragon appeared or something. The story's always different.
Yeah.
It has things that didn't happen. So what we think happened is he went outside, he was with a bunch of friends, and the friends all helped him dig this hole, and they egged him on to pee in it. And apparently he didn't have his snow pants on because it's pretty cold up here in Canada. And he unzipped. And if you are a male, which my wife did not know immediately, or the teacher did not know, they were wondering how his friends got peed on. So your aim is not true when you first unzip. And he did not know that either. So the friends that egged him on got some blowback from
Wow. Oh no.
we were in the splash zone.
Still friends?
I don't
kinda
know.
the-
I could honestly, I don't know. I'm sure that it goes in and out of their heads, but
They kind of
yeah.
deserved it. I mean,
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from
life
in
lesson.
my head.
If you egg on a kid to pee, you might get some piss in your face. That's
That's right.
That's
That's
Shakespeare.
what you get.
Like-
I'm sorry. Yeah. So we've had to lay down that punishment, and he's been inside recesses for a little while to correct his behavior a bit. Get back to norm.
Only boys. It's
I
just
swear, it's just
the logic of boys, where it's just like, I'm gonna dig a hole.
Yep.
You piss in it.
Yep.
This will be great.
Oh, and my oldest has done this when he was in SK, not in a sandbox.
Hold on. Okay, wait a minute. It's the same thing, like the peeing in a hole.
No, he was in the bathroom, but decided to pee on the wall.
Okay. Well.
So, and he knew better.
It just.
Maybe it's genetic. Maybe it's a thing.
Did you
Like
pee
they
on
have
walls?
to. I don't think so.
Not that you remember.
Though now I have to ask my
your
parents.
mom and
Maybe
dad.
maybe I did, and they just hid it from me. They're like, "Yep, you are a public peer. I'm sorry."
So it's just I will say, it's funny. I feel almost bad for girls who have to raise boys, because as much as like you were, I can't imagine you're honestly shocked. I'm sure you were given a little bit of what?
It's more of like, don't be that kid.
Yeah, but then you think back to when you were a little boy.
Yeah.
And you're with buddies, and the gross nonsense you got into.
Oh, for sure.
It's like he peed in a hole. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get him in trouble, but like, yeah, he's a boy. That happened.
Yep. He did that. You're not supposed to get caught.
So if you're doing this nonsense, just don't get caught.
I couldn't help but like, put on the dad face where you're laughing on the inside, but you have to be, the blank concerned look. Because when he mentioned that he didn't know that it was going to spray at them, I just laughed at myself.
God.
It was just something like, yep.
Your concerned dad face on the outside of the teacher, like, yep, inside,
Yep, pretty much.
you'll go to a bar later and just like be howling with laughter with your buddies. Like,
Oh, yeah.
That's
Work next
amazing.
day, told them all. Yeah, same thing. So, along the same lines, potty training, you can have an accident or two, or you can do it on purpose later in life.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think that's more manageable as far as like
Oh yeah.
him just unfortunately pissing through all of his clothes. That's a shame. Having to tell my son off because he decided to pee in a hole his friends dug and proceed to also piss in their faces. Well,
that's a life lesson right there.
that's your. Hey, you got your Christmas card. We're all set.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, this year's been an interesting one. a lot of ups and downs. But yeah, let me do a rough transition then to game I've been playing.
Please.
We get on this topic. So it's funny because I've been working through the backlog. Had been enjoying No Man's Sky. I'll say I hit a bit of a plateau with it where it's it's kind of I'm done with it for a little bit.
Okay.
Love it, like still great. I'll go back to it. I still intend to finish it, but just I think I've had a bit enough. And then all the news of Fallout 76.
Yes.
I didn't buy it. Sorry, just let's be real clear. I did not buy.
Okay, I just
Fallout
wanted
76.
No. Okay.
God no. But seeing that world, it brought back memories. Like, damn, I really enjoyed that game. So that's what I've been back into. And Fallout 4 is on my queue, right? Is on the backlog list. So I'm like,
right,
man, my dad gaming time is precious. I'm going to play the game that I want to play.
Good
as
call.
long as I currently own it. And damn, that's so much fun, man. Jeez. So the first thing I do is when I log in my, as I previously mentioned on the show, I cheat in the game where I upped my carry capacity to infinite because I don't want to care about what I'm carrying in inventory management. It adds nothing to it, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't call that cheating. I'd just call that, modifying. It's
just that's what it was. And what the funny thing is, the mod that I'd used to do it had been decommissioned or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
So I'd lost it. So immediately, the first thing I do as soon as I'm in the game is like, oh, okay, type a how to cheat, like get unlimited carry. First thing I do in the game. But ripping through, I'm still in the early days. I'm just in. Well, the best part is like I'm so early in the story, but somehow I have like 50 hours logged in this game.
Wow. Okay.
Like I've done nothing previously. Like
no.
It was a different time.
I guess so.
I was looking at it, I was like, man, that's impressive. Like, how the hell did I ever spend 50 hours in a game?
Yeah, and you're still not even kind of into.
Not even close.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You got a ways.
But I decided but in this new kind of let's get through it and enjoy it, like I actually progressed through some missions from Diamond City, so I'm kind of closer to finding my son. Do you recall playing the game? Do you remember the synth detective? I think it's Valentine is his name.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
yep.
He's going to be my buddy this entire game. That guy is so entertaining. Well, I don't know, Sam. I think it's something we're going to have to investigate. You look like a guy who could handle himself. Suppose he took a few too much off the top, I see.
I think you do that all too well.
It's like,
you're probably like, why did I put this game down? I just listened to this guy all day.
I want a game with that guy. I want nothing but that game. I'd love to see, man, I want to see a movie or a game that is just non-satirical, old school detective like that. I can see the dame was serious when she walked in the door. So it makes it utterly enjoyable. That's got to be one of my favorite tag-along characters I've ever seen. Because you constantly be given the choice of, do you want to take this guy along? I'm like, yeah, every time.
Yes.
I want this guy's commentary on everything I do.
You're going to feel so lonely when he's not there. You'll be like, oh, it's a wasteland again.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was great that he filled out another, that he cleared out another bandit's camp. I kept wondering, why on earth wasn't he concerned about his son?
Yeah. Well, gotta do all these side quests first, then I'll go get my kid. Just hold on, you can wait. You're potty trained, just stay there. You're good.
Yeah. One of the more curious things I found was it is such a stark contrast to No Man's Sky.
Yes.
In the sense that No Man's Sky is massive and huge, and this isn't negatives against either game, but No Man's Sky is huge and massive and empty in a sense, but empty in the sense that you'd expect space to be empty, right? Like it's billions of stars and planets. Like there's going to be a certain almost like loneliness to it and a quiet isolation that's kind of beautiful. That's gorgeous. That's really cool with No Man's Sky. I like it. But then the jump from that into Fallout 4, where you're just tramping around. The entire world is almost claustrophobic with items and things and crates and cars and like everything from the Fallout.
Yeah.
And you're walking towards one mission, and then I had a woman like run out of a hardware store, like, oh, please, you gotta help me. So you run over there,
Yes,
and then as soon as you get in there, of course, it's a trap, so everyone tries to kill you. Surprise, I've spent 50 hours, my guy's not gonna die.
Right.
So you wreck them, but just that constant liveliness of the world
Yes.
coming from a game like No Man's Sky, it's just wow.
That's
Did you
quite
ever
a
finish
contrast.
Fallout 4? Yeah, did you finish it?
Nope. I did not. I have my problems with the game just coming from somebody that, I don't know. Again, I don't want to compare everything to Witcher, but I had that game
compared to
first.
Witcher.
But compared to Witcher, I had that first, and then I don't know. I think some of the jankiness of Fallout kind of bugged me, and I'm like, I just fell off. It was a lot of commitment. So bravo to you. We'll see if you can pull through and complete it.
I don't know. I'm torn because I look at that backlog list and it's just, again, these are incredible gaming experiences. I want to finish it. And there's, there's always the old pull of the old completionist in me.
Right.
But at the same time, like the gaming time is so limited and so precious. It's like I just don't have any time to waste on something I'm not enjoying.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's a bit of the duality where I'm having trouble with the list in the sense that would I actually want to bring everything to completion if I'm not enjoying it? And I think with, like, for instance, with Doom, it really started to, the last couple levels for me were just, I kind of wished it was done by now. Like, this is still really cool. This is awesome. But just, man, I wish you were finished.
See, and, like, that's the hard part to call a game like that, because I have Alien Isolation, which is a fantastic game. Like, the atmosphere, I love the atmosphere of the alien world, and they've done it so well in that video game. But I am terrified in that game, and I don't want to complete it because it's something that doesn't give me joy. And the last thing I want to do is create more heart palpitations in a world with kids. Like, I want to relax. I want to chill out.
Kids peeing in sand, man. You don't understand.
Don't want to go into this world. So I had to call it quits on that game, and I watched a couple like YouTubers go through it, and that kind of worked for me. I mean, I had my experience. I can kind of go back to it if I want to, but I don't know. I'm not gonna go through the game and make it a chore. It's not what this is about.
Yeah, when I look at the backlog, it might have to be one of the things I realize with it, where it's, unless I'm really enjoying it, at least with the big sprawling ones, even with No Man's Sky, right? If it just keeps getting to a point where I'm like, I'm not having fun right now, then it's probably good to just put on the shelf. I think I need to get to a place where it's like, I've played such a significant part of this game that I'm done with it. Like, it's good. I totally got my value out of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Although, I mean, minor thing, I think there's some diversions like Undertale, which is on my list, where that's one that's worth going through.
And that's not too long either, so you're not talking hundreds of hours.
That's true, but I think that's one that benefits from finishing it.
Yes.
Like whether if you truly finish Fallout 4 or not, like, that's not really.
No.
You don't really need to get to the end of it to have experienced it, right?
No, yeah, you just experienced the world, right? So if the story's interesting to you, do all the main missions and don't do the side ones. But I think that you're missing part of the Fallout world that way. Like, it's meant to, like, meander along. So,
yeah, I think I'm just being a bit more judicious with it, where I'm really focusing on the main path, and as in the instance like the hardware store where I got like ambushed, as it comes up, like, okay, a little.
Yeah, that's organic, touch. Right? You're not checking the menus.
The only one I'm kind of definitely a bit more invested in is anything to do with Valentine, the synth detective.
Okay.
Because he has cases come up, and it's like I want to max him out. Like, I want to get all the time I can with him and get all his flavor text. So.
Yeah. Again, you, man. I hope your interest holds true, and we'll see you back here in a year and see where you're at.
I'm still playing No Man's Sky and Fallout. That's all I got.
It's still in my backlog forever.
Yeah. But what's too perfect is Being a completionist and finishing everything very much features in the Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Each week we feature an exceptional gaming dad and often their kids who are doing fatherhood and gaming so well. This week's victory comes from Gaming Dad Norm-i-poyk-keus, who may not have gotten the in-game trophy, but may have gotten the best possible trophy anyways. Jeff, why don't you walk us through what we're seeing in the photo?
So the photo is a real-life statue that was made by his 10-year-old son as an accomplishment for finally completing Dark Souls. And it's this plasticine knight holding up a sword as like this kind of brave, accomplished pose. And it's quite detailed on this, something that was presented to his dad that has completed this game. This is an amazing achievement in both gaming and fatherhood for his son to do this and take the time to, again, recognize it.
Yeah, so it was like the final boss that he had beaten. He'd finally found it, so he completed everything. The kid was engaged and knew about it. It's his 10-year-old son. And like exactly as you said, so it's this physical testament to this great momentous occasion in the game. But not only is that every time he looks at it, he gets to have that joy, but it also comes from his son and his son recognizing his gaming prowess.
Yeah,
like that's
cool.
like, the duality of it's great. And it's, we'd be remiss not to mention like the quality of the sculpture is great too.
Yes, like a lot of detail in it. He's got like the chainmail kind of texture to it, and little hands, and and even the expression on the face. So, again, something that's it took his son time to do, and it's great that he did it unprompted. Something that you come home to. That's an amazing achievement.
And having it connected to your gaming world, having that detail, and just something he gets to keep forever. I think any gaming dad would just absolutely love to have this in their house. So absolute kudos. What a phenomenal story. But for leveling up and receiving a testament to his gaming abilities from his 10-year-old son, Norm-i-poyk-keus has won Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Congratulations. If you have a story that you'd like to feature for Gaming Dad Victory of the Week, send it along to us at our Facebook group or on our website at newdadgaming.com.
And new dads, listen up as we go over this week's highlights and what happened in the world of gaming. Fallout 76 is officially a critical flop. The new multiplayer online-only iteration failed to impress critics, with a Metacritic score hovering around about 50, sometimes dipping below, making it the lowest-rated game or DLC expansion in the series. Consumers have also not taken kindly to Bethesda's plans, with sales in the UK almost 80% less than that of Fallout 4. Bethesda has been busy fixing the game with yet another 45-gigabyte patch that rolled out this week, but will this be another No Man's Sky where it was progressively getting better over time, or maybe not? Only time and feedback from the community will tell. And speaking of No Man's Sky, yet another surprise update launched from the company entitled Visions. The latest promised more palette variety, new flora and fauna, more base parts, improved UI, rainbows, buried fossils, launchable fireworks, and much, much more. The free DLC is dropping this week, so players can prep their spaceships once again for another journey into the stars. And some of the first games being dropped because of the Belgium loot box ban have been announced. Square Enix has pulled out some of its biggest mobile games, which include, now these are tongue twisters, Mobius, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts X, and Dissidia, Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. This year, Belgium had outlawed loot boxes and digital gambling, and now companies like Square have to adjust their games or pull them out entirely. While we can only hope this is the start of a cleaner gaming experience, we have no doubt the industry will find a loophole and put digital in-game currency back into play. And speaking of Square Enix, the wait is almost over. After 5.5 years, Kingdom Hearts 3 has finally gone gold. The Disney Square crossover plans on launching in late January, putting it almost 14 years between it and Kingdom Hearts 2. We'll let you know how it fares when reviews start flowing in, but fingers crossed for all those that have waited this long. And remember Steam Link? Well, it was a piece of hardware developed by Valve that could stream any PC game to any display in your house via Wi-Fi. It was launched way back in 2015 to a somewhat lukewarm reception, where now in 2018, it has been finally laid to rest. Valve has officially discontinued the hardware, so if you happen to see one, they should be heavily discounted, almost as low as a cup of coffee. The box has been outdone by smart TVs and consoles in the recent years, but Steam Link will live on in app form, so be sure to watch out for that on mobile. As for gaming releases this week, some highlights include the new Spider-Man DLC entitled Turf Wars for the PS4, Farming Simulator for the PS4, PS4 and Xbox One, Beat Saber drops for the PS4 VR, Nidhogg 2 comes over to the Switch, and Warframe hits the Switch as well. That's it for gaming news this week. Catch a nap and tune in next week for another update.
Nice. No, and 76, like it's, so obviously we were just talking about Fallout before.
Yeah.
And I was prompted to play it because it reminded me how much I liked Fallout 4. It just feels, if there's ever been something that's been really tacked on to a game, because so much of it felt like I don't want to say like isolation necessarily, but like the survival. Like it's such an intimate, slow experience, it feels like your survival, the wasteland, the VAT system, as far as like shooting the heads and everything.
Right.
Like it's this paced, slow, incredibly in-depth story, like weird winding parts, and like you're gonna make that into a massive online game with a bunch of other people. Like how on earth? Like that feels that's such odds with one another.
Yeah, and I totally agree, because a lot of the feedback they've been getting and the critics have been saying is that you're taking this narrative-driven story, flushing that away, putting it multiplayer, and having audio logs try and tell a story where there's no NPCs, there's no life beyond 24 players in your massive server in this world. So, and a lot of the quests, from what I gather, again, I haven't played it, are kind of fetch quests. They're not story quests, so they're like it's more defend this or gather caps or do whatever, and there's no real drive to complete what's there. If there is a completion method, I'm not sure if there's an end game to it. So I think they kind of underestimated what Fallout fans wanted.
That's been a depressing couple weeks for massive announcements. So Diablo does not get a fourth. It gets a mobile game instead, to the
dismay of everybody.
Absolutely everybody. But and then Fallout 76 comes out, and it's about as bad as anybody thought it might be.
Yeah.
I feel like I was a little chewed up when you mentioned, like, will it pull a No Man's Sky as far as able to become a good experience? Like, you hope, of course. Like, it'd be great if it turns into a great Fallout game, but it seems like the problem. Like, No Man's Sky was a overly idealistic but dedicated small team.
Yeah.
Trying to make something big, like something from true artistry and just that dedication. And clearly a company that's not overly driven by money, in the sense that each of those DLCs is free. The newest one, which is like the 6th DLC or whatever it is free again.
Yeah.
Right? What on earth are the chances that Fallout 76 doesn't have a bunch of paid expansions?
Yeah, like, again, this is where they prove themselves, if they actually care about the world they've created. I think if they, almost pay it forward to the community and say, hey, look, we're going to fix this, and this is the roadmap. Or they just leave it as is, and it's broken, and modders take over and modify it.
Yeah. Well,
so
speaking of like the No Man's Sky content, it's just like stop, please stop.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people are saying stop,
please,
because it's like they went the way of Drive Club. Drive Club launched the same way, whereas this limited kind of experience, and then the post support for it, post launch support was amazing, and Drive Club ended up being this huge package with all this content, and then. It was years after. You're like, no, wait, I've kind of moved on, but you're drawing me back. Okay, I'll come back.
Fine, I'll come enjoy your game.
Which is great. Sure. It's great for gamers, but holy, like, to dump all the resources back in it's phenomenal.
Well, that was it was the only thing I was tempted to vote for in the gaming awards that are coming up.
Right.
Because they have the category of like best ongoing game.
Yep.
And just, man, for the DLC and the dedication alone, and it's all free. That company better win it. Like, that's just unbelievable.
It is, yeah, it really is how they've, and each one is so much different than the previous one. Like, they've added, like, so much more to it, so.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They're making it more fun. It's like, why wouldn't you want this? Please, no.
It's like, finally, and I think anybody, like, who's kind of on the fence, like, I think there's a couple massive, is it Steam sale that had, I think.
Yep. There's the autumn sale that's on.
Yeah, I think Steam had it for 50%. We're going to go ahead to our favorite segment where Trevor Googles something live on air. Trevor's going to go ahead and Google something.
Google. And it is Black Friday this week, so you will no doubt find a deal on No Man's Sky, I'm sure.
Yeah, 50%. So it's currently 50% off at, on Steam. So for the PC version.
Which is probably, 80 hours, 100 hours of gameplay? Who knows?
Oh,
it could be infinite. There's an infinite galaxy.
It could be your 1,000, man. It could be. This could be the only thing you ever play.
Yeah.
It's just got that much content. Now, the Kingdom Hearts 3...
Yes.
Did you ever play any of the Kingdom Hearts games?
I played the first one, and then I didn't play any of the others. I think it was in college at the time.
Back when young Jeff with all his
young
Jeff time.
Jeff with my vision of the future. Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't you really hate the preview?
Yes.
Oh, wait, that was the Final. Never mind. That was the Final Fantasy, wasn't it? Or was it Kingdom Hearts?
I don't think it was Kingdom Hearts. But what I remember is I didn't love it as much as the community does. I think it was great. It was a weird mix of characters when I first got into it. But I wanted to see Cloud again. I wanted to see Cloud and Sephiroth. I'm like, I need them in a different game because I know their fates. So I wanted to get in the game because of them. And then now I'm like, weird, there's Mickey Mouse in here and Goofy. And I don't even think my kids know who they are, but they love the Toy Story and Frozen characters. So it looks like
do it for the kids, Jeff.
That's
do it
right.
For the kids.
Dad and kid game coming up.
I think so, yeah. So I think I played 1 and 2. I think there's like 4 other games besides that. Like there's
like
3
remixes and 2.5 and 2.8.
Yeah, because it's a literal like 2.5, which is just about. Yeah, that's just the funniest thing you'd ever seen.
Yeah,
but I'd be interested, but it's just a time, man. Like it's just that'd be such a sink.
Yeah,
like God, like that'd be. I could see it swinging around on a deal on the second round of it, but like.
But think of it as a family movie. You're like, hey kids, let's sit down and watch this fun family movie, and meanwhile you're playing.
Yeah,
look at your characters.
It seems incredibly family friendly. It's like, does. Come on, man, you got Donald Duck screaming and zapping people. Like, what more do you want?
Yeah, for sure. That was pretty good. You sure you're not voice acting for him? Come on.
Well, just a little Donald on the side. You know
That's
how we
right.
do. I was wondering. So that was fascinating to hear that Warframe had made it to the Switch.
Yeah,
like that team just doesn't stop. Now, is it free on the Switch? It must be.
It is free, and
free Switch game. You can't afford Switch games.
I know. The graphics look almost identical to the PS4 version. Like there's some missing effects, but it looks almost identical. I don't think it runs at 60 frames. I think it runs at 30, which might be a little bit of a different experience. But holy, in a Switch in a mobile environment, and I can take it wherever I want. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I found it hard to park myself in front of the PS4 with Warframe, just the way it was kind of set up. But on the go,
yeah. Have you down? Wait, was it relaunched or it's coming to the Switch?
I think it launched today or yesterday, so I have to go into the store and download it, see what's up.
Man, I'd love to hear it, man, because I'd love to see we had a brief run-in with it. We never got around to our Warframe episode.
Well, now we can add Switch in, so.
See, we were waiting for the Switch release.
That's right.
It's the true Warframe platform, so.
Exactly.
We will still get to that one fine day, but I would love to hear next week, what your Switch Warframe is.
Yeah, for sure. I'm ready to jump in.
So there's your dad gaming homework for the week.
Homework, come on.
All right. All the rest of you gaming dads, just get out there, play some good games. Don't touch Fallout 76, and try to keep your kid from pissing in others' faces.
Yeah.
Keep it in the sand. Keep it in the sand.
Keep it in the sand.
That will do it for us this week. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us at our website, newdadgaming.com. You can also find us on our Facebook group, as well as Twitter and any of the other social networks. To subscribe to the podcast, you can find us on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and any of the other podcasting services. If you like the show at all, we would really appreciate a like, a subscription, or a share, as we're trying to get out there and reach as many gaming dads as possible. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
All right, I'll see you next week.
See ya.